Why crypto is falling down, going down, falling today, down today, crashing, the future, dropping, dead, but better than fiat. Does anyone remember this intro, the character I did? You'd have to be an OG of the channel to remember that. It's one of my wife's favorite intros that I've done. Leave a like on this video if you would like to see that, because I'm not sure. I'm not quite sure if I've matured from that kind of stuff yet or not, or if you have. So it looks like the sell-off has slowed down today. Now, if that means it's a pause, if that means it's going to continue tomorrow, if that means that this is the lowest price Bitcoin we are ever going to see for the remainder of our lives, I don't know. It's funny, I watched some technical analysis. I've heard, I'm not calling anyone out, by the way, no names, not calling anyone out. I've heard a couple of them say, I'm 55% sure we're going up from here. 55%? Why don't you just be honest? You have no idea. No one knows. Not calling shots, not firing shots. So I thought what we'd look at today is the similarities between this bust cycle. I want to use a different word than that. Boom bust cycles. We'll have a look and see if this bust cycle is really all that similar to ones that Bitcoin's had previously. I'm sure you've seen the video where Bitcoin has multiple crashes.
This one time, Bitcoin went from 6 cents all the way to 36 cents, and then it crashed. And then another time, Bitcoin went from 85 cents all the way to $29, and then it crashed to $3. And then another time,
it always crashes. The same things that are being levied against Bitcoin, the same things that are being levied against Bitcoin, the same negative statements are the same ones that have been used previously at previous crashes. So is there a difference this time? So we have this famous crash, which is quite similar to the one we've got currently, where in December 2013, it peaked at about $1,200 per Bitcoin and then came crashing down to about $200 at its lowest. That is a fall of 83%. Currently 20k to 6k, I know we're above 6k right now, 20 to 6, its most extreme, is a 70% loss. Let's turn to the community. Let's pick on this guy for a second. Redditor for 7 weeks. Not a good sign. Talking about the similarities between this and the previous ones. Was almost 700 billion lost? There is a huge value and volume difference this time. The change in value was mostly free money at that point. Now we are dealing with the masses putting crypto on a credit card, daydreaming about Lambos. That won't happen again. And with new legislation, credit cards refusing service, and whale influence on the market, most people will stay clear. Just because it recovered before, who cares? So did Enron, BOA, I don't know what those companies are, JCPenney, Sears, AOL, and so on. Bitcoin being compared to AOL. Nice. First up, again, just dealing with the misconception that the masses were at any point involved in cryptocurrency. If there are 7.5 billion people in the world, and there's 5 million wallets in existence with more than $100 worth of Bitcoin, that is 0.07% of the world's population that have got involved in Bitcoin. Does that sound like the masses to you? Anyway, this comparison to AOL is hilarious. It actually gives me great hope. It sounds like despair, right? Now, before trying to script this episode, I tried to find the nicer picture, but this one does it. When is the bear market going to be over? When everyone's in despair. There's no more capitulation, it's just despair. We are comparing Bitcoin to AOL. Despite all of the positives that are being built both around and on Bitcoin this year, you know, the Lightning Network, you heard of that thing, right? Bitcoin's never been in a better place. I don't care about the price right now. Bitcoin has never been in a better place. But admittedly, I will admit, the scale of this crash is much bigger than any in history for Bitcoin. But every boom bust cycle is bigger than the last. But just how big? So if you have a look at the market cap, you see it's all-time high to what it is currently, And we had an all-time high of 830 billion down to, what is it, 230 right now. So that would equate to $604 billion of real world dollars gone. 604 billion. Except it's not that much. It's not even close to that much. Market caps are strange things. It's not even close to that. What else did this guy say? I don't mean to pick on this guy, but it's interesting. Credit cards refusing service. It kind of reminds me of some YouTube channels got blocked because the YouTubers were promoting their Twitch channel. And so YouTube banned them for it. I mean, how uncertain do you need to be? How afraid do you need to be to do something like that? Clearly, these companies know something that maybe this guy doesn't. Clearly, they're afraid big time in order for banks to ban the accounts of people involved in cryptocurrency. Why are they doing that? They're not doing it for their protection. They're doing it for the bank's protection because they're terrified. They're scared. Is that not bullish? Is that not bullish? Does that not make you bullish? I think there are a lot of similarities between this bus cycle and previous ones before, but the biggest difference for me personally would just be how many on-ramps Bitcoin has. But let me know what your thoughts are on this. Am I missing something? What is different to previous crashes, if anything? If there isn't, then we know what happens. We know what happens after a crash. It doesn't go to zero, does it? Although this isn't financial advice. Ultimately, I think people are just too fixated on short-term gains to compare Bitcoin to AOL. Anyway, this episode is sponsored by Kick ICO. Not an actual ICO, but a platform to kickstart ICOs. Now, a long time ago, I made a review of this project when I was just a fresh-faced boy in the community, which wasn't sponsored. I just thought it was an interesting platform. I like coins that have working products. That's just my thing. Since then, they've had no marketing, seemingly no activity, and have been pretty much silent, despite maintaining a respectable market cap and some growth despite how many bears there are. Now, having been in contact with this project myself recently, they've informed me they're aiming to switch things up in the immediate future. They even likened their story to Neo's legacy. So Neo was a project that lay dormant for a long time, but it kept working discreetly behind the scenes, but started doing some noticeable things that eventually got people's attention, and then it spread like wildfire. They see quite a few similarities. So what are Kick going to do then? So the CEO has announced that a new white paper is coming. There've been a few job listings on the website as well as important hires in the team, and a revision of the platform is expected to be launched within the next month or so. There's also an airdrop for token holders upcoming. The airdrop is coming from a side project to Kitcoin known as uCommunity, which is going to handle identity on the blockchain. A good use case. They recently got added to a big volume exchange in Coinbean. They've also announced a contest for traders, and there's a prize fund of over 1 million Kitcoins, about $200,000 depending on the rate. Now, if you'd like to see a review for this platform, you can feel free to check out my old video. I'm pretty sure it's still relevant, although some updates are coming to the platform. Let me know what you guys think of Kick. Thank you for watching, and I will see you again very, very soon.